I'm going to show you how to use Claude 3.7 to create lead magnets that will help you out with your business or just make some really value-added stuff for your viewers in your community and your channel. This came up during the live stream today. I was answering a question and it came from Alicia T. Says. So shout out to Alicia T. Says for asking such a great question that generated this process. But I'm going to dive in and show you guys, it's really simple and it's super incredible. So let's dive in real quick. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is talk about sort of how Claude works. Of all the many AI tools out there, Claude just seems to be the smartest. I tried this in both Gemini and ChatGPT. Claude's results were better. So let me just show you how this come up. I said, act as a YouTube expert, especially someone who specializes in making engaging, clickable thumbnails. Make a brainstorming worksheet that gives 5 important tips for creating thumbnails. Give a step-by-step guide to help users create highly effective thumbnails for YouTube. Now, before we go further, this came up because there was a question of how can you get it to help you maybe brainstorm some ideas, or maybe you want to generate a lead magnet for your business. So if you think of something that your viewers struggle with, and I look at you guys, I'm sorry, I love you, but some of your thumbnails are a little suspect. So I said, you know what, maybe I should make a checklist or a guide, something that I could reference when it's time to make thumbnails. And then after I got the results, I was like, wait a minute, this is absolutely shareable. And I shared it immediately with everybody that was on the live stream. Every Saturday, 8 a.m. Hawaiian, by the way, if you want to come and check it out. Okay, let's get back. So Chad basically generated this copy, and I won't bore you with everything that it said, but basically it said we're going to start with a template. We're going to take thumbnail specific photos. We're going to test it out with friends. We're going to don't be afraid of bold colors and give yourself some time. Okay, so what it came up with is this really cool looking worksheet about clear, relatable text, or readable text, sorry. Brainstorm your text ideas here. So you would fill this out. And then it says, ask yourself a question. Can someone understand this at a glance? Would it make them curious? And then it said, make it strong and emotional. Again, it gave you some tips and it gave you a place to fill in what you're doing. So this is like a full functioning worksheet. And it says, make it clear and focused. And then it asks you what your main focal point is going to be, how to make it stand out, brand consistency. Like it goes to this really, really nice workshop. The only thing that I would change, I will change, I haven't changed yet, is I would always create these thumbnails at 1920 by 1080 and let YouTube bring it back down as opposed to giving it the 780 by 1220. You will have to fight it for size sometimes because YouTube likes to be under 2 megabytes. But the reason why I do that is so that way when YouTube shrinks it, it'll be more clear. Anyway. So it gave a nice step-by-step guide. It gave some really incredible information. I read it all the way through. I found like 2 things in here that I would change. And I was mind blown by how good this is, right? So before we get to the next steps, let me come and talk to you about how you would go about doing this. First, you would think of a problem that your viewers need to solve, right? And now understand, when I used to come up with these lead magnets before, I would spend hours trying to come up with something that would look good. I would be in Canva, Keynote, Notion, somewhere trying to come up with something good that people can use. And if you really think about, I typed this prompt out and it was literally just a vocal prompt. To be honest, I didn't even type it out. I used a dictation in order to ask that prompt. So I didn't even type it out. And then it came out with something that was basically flawless. There's a couple of minor things in there that I would change. So if you think about spitting out a prompt, most of you guys type way faster than I do. So it's going to take you maybe 1 to 2 minutes to come up with a decent prompt. Maybe you got to try it a couple times, but it's going to come out with something that's glorious. And that alone would have taken you from, say, 60 to 120 minutes to build a lead magnet to you already chopped it down to less than 5. And then after you read through it and make your changes and make your iterations, now you might have brought this process up to 15-minute tops. But here's where it gets good. I made it better with I got design skills, but you would not need to have my design skills in order to make this better. Now I'm going to show you why. I'm not going to give you a step-by-step on how to use Claude. If you need that, let me know in the comments below. It says, please show me like how to use Claude. I'll make another video. I want to keep this one sort of tight because I got a lot of work to do in here today. So I want to get this done. So again, think about something that your users could use that would solve a problem. Think about how you would normally go about solving that problem and have it make a worksheet or workbook that solves that problem. Because instead of just teaching them, you're helping people learn how to process through the thought themselves. And that tends to be more valuable, at least in my opinion. So let's go back in and we're going to polish this request up a little bit better. So the next step I said to turn this into a pretty visual using my brand colors. Okay. And so let me show you where I got my colors from. This is colors.co. I use this all the time. These hex codes are all of my brand colors. I basically took this list right here and I copied that list and pasted it into the end of the prompt. So if you notice the URL at the top, these numbers are basically these colors. Right? If I was to do something silly here, like change the last two from 4F to say 00 and hit enter, it should re-render this with some hideous color at the end. That's not my color. So that's where I got the colors from. Colors.co is good. If you know your brand colors, you should always have them in a note somewhere so you can use them wherever you need to. Okay, let's just jump back over here. So I said again, turn this into a pretty visual using my brand colors, and here are my brand colors, and I pasted them in. Now, I need to point out, Claude is very good at generating visuals. And the thing that I like about it is it tends to make them in either HTML or an SVG, which is highly flexible. You could do lots of things with it. And even if you don't like the way the visual come out, the design of it would normally be okay. So you could jump into Canva or Adobe Express or Photoshop or GIMP or something and make it prettier. So pretty incredible thus far. Let's go back. So I ran that prompt and it basically said, okay, we're going to look at your colors and then we're going to build this thing. Look at what it created. Let me click this artifact right here. That's what Claude calls these things on the side, the artifacts. It generated this actual form. When it was writing the code, it did it like such. And it just went to town. And that's the whole code, all in HTML. And the preview came out exactly like this. So everything that I asked for before, but a place that's an actual fillable form. So you can go in here and actually type things into this form in order to give yourself a PDF. It goes all the way through. It kept all of my brand colors, as you can see, tells you how to research your competition, the whole 9 yards. So here's a functioning worksheet that you can work upon. I can take this and paste it to my website right now and have a killer lead magnet that I can send in emails to go forth, go on, and etc. So it's giving me what you would do about this. Now, I'm going to probably take this one step further and figure out like some sort of submit button that will help generate a PDF, but we'll get to that later. So let me show you what happens. I told this thing to publish at the bottom of a Claude page. Move my head's in the way. Sorry, people. At the bottom of the Claude page, there is a publish button. So when I published it, it came up with this. So I could send you this link right now, but this is a form that it absolutely created. So I'm going to show you how to build this from scratch, and I'm going to cheat and use my same prompt. And I'm going to go here and say, make a new chat. So all I'm going to do is paste my prompt in. Oh, you know what? I wanted to start a new chat. Sorry, I pressed the wrong button. Okay, so I'm going to paste my prompt in, and then there's a style guide that I have here, but I'll just use normal just to see if it does anything differently. So I'm going to go ahead and say go. And it's going to think it through. It's generating this worksheet. I mean, look, it's beautiful. It's doing what it needs to do. Now, of course, again, you could read through this, make any minor changes that you want, and sort of go forth and go from here. Now, to turn this into a printable lead magnet, what you could just clarify further what you would like it to do. So in my previous prompt, I had my hex colors. So let me go ahead and paste those in. I have them in my clipboard somewhere. There it is. So I'll paste in my hex colors and All right, so I just said, make this look pretty, use my brand colors pasted below. I told you guys I don't type fast. And I just press enter and let it do its thing. Like, Claude is pretty impressive at this. So if you think about it, what type of stuff could you sort of ask Claude to make for you that you can use as a template or a worksheet, a workbook, something that could bring some decent value to your people, and you just pop it in. Now, you understand this looks totally different from what I asked it to do earlier today, and that's because that can happen. However, you might just have to run the prompts couple, 2-3 times until you get it. Either way, it's going to be way less time than taking an hour to do what I used to do before. And so it's sitting here and it's building this, and it's saying version 2x2. So there it is. And let's see, are you going to give me a looky-loo? No, it doesn't seem to want to give me a looky-loo, but it's there. Let me fix it. This is just code. It needs to be in a human readable format. All right. Just tell it to fix it. All right? And again, you might just have to scratch it, start again. But I mean, different than what you're doing. Like, you're going to just give it a couple shots and you're going to try it. It also may be because I did use a custom style on the first one, but that custom style is basically built from me using Claude all the time, and it just kind of knows what I want. Let me show you one other thing while this guy is thinking that you can also use this for. So let me go to, I did this playing around earlier. I was just curious of what other kind of crazy things I could do. I said, make a memory card game to assist learning katakana. So I was making this for my niece, and it came up with this. Again, here's the code and here's the preview. So this is an actual playable game. So if I press that and I wanted to click this, and then you click another one, okay, those two don't match. So I'm going to click this one and another one. That matched. That funny. So there's that and that. Let's see. I think I saw that. No, I did not. I was wrong. Oh, God, my memory is horrible. There you go. That one matches. Where did I go? Boom, wrong. There you go. And then, but look, an actual playable game to match up, any sort of memory. So this was cool, but I said, okay, Claude, Katakana has 46 functional pairs, so it's not going to do good if I only can do like 10. So I had it recreated, and it gave me an error. This happened. So I said, can you fix the error? It's super simple. And it went and fixed the error, and it came up with the entire 46 pairs if you wanted to do the whole game that way. And then you could show a hint, which would show you all the parts at one time. You could create a new game. You could change the difficulty, 5, 10, 15, 46. But again, Claude is really good at this stuff because Claude is really good at writing and coding. So all I said was make a memory game. So if you were teaching something in one of your workshops, if you're teaching something and you wanted to show like a tool that people could use to help memorize the portions, or you're trying to memorize a, what is that thing called? A workflow or a framework, you could have it generate flashcards, have it generate, memory tools. You can have it generate quizzes. You could have it generate polls, so forth, so on, and etc. So I want you to give this a try. I will put the link to the artifact that I made, and just know that these are publishable. That's the part of it that I think that's cool. But it worked. I think this is a really cool thing. It's a good way for you to bring some extra people to your show, some interaction. Maybe it's a game that you can do while people are waiting for you to start the live stream. Have them go over and check this out. all these tools work. You're looking for human connection, human interaction, and it's really weird to say that, but you can use this AI tool to help you generate some really cool stuff. Now, all I would do is take this and finish it up, and I'm going to stick it in my email list, and I'm going to use it to bring people to my email list. But this is the type of thing that you can do using Claude 3.0. As I always say, I don't know who needed to hear this, but if it was you, put that down in the comment section below. Now, I'll also link to the live stream where I did this so you can watch the whole thing from the beginning. And it's way more steps that I went through. But we all learned this live, and it all just came up from Alicia asking a good question. So thank you to Alicia. And as you know, I'm here at all times to answer questions. So if you got a question, just throw it down in the comment section below. Right about now, the algorithm is going to show you another video that I think you should watch. And I agree with them.
I need to know everything, who and the what and the where, I need everything. Trust me, I hear what you're saying, but act like it's new what you're telling me. I'm curious, George, I hop in the Porsche, 5 and a horse, I'm ready for war, I'm coming for throats, to turn to a ghost, I need to know everything. Now you be surprised at the info you get is by letting them talk, so I'm letting them talk. Gotta keep quiet, maneuver